welcome back to part two of practicing pronunciation with The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. In the last video, we went over a little bit of how to get started when you are preparing to practice English pronunciation. And then we did the first two stanzas. In this video, we will do the next four stanzas. So up until stanza 6. We're going to start with stanza 3 right here, and we're going to get right to it because we ended with nameless here forevermore. So as I told you in the last video, the first thing you want to do before you start practicing is to make some marks of places that you suspect will be trouble. And remember, this is a pattern. You know the sounds that you need to work on. So, for example, for some people, the S's, the silken, sad, uncertain, rustling, there's a lot of S there. TH, thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. For people who have difficulty with TH, this would be a good spot to focus on with the TH sound, and then the F sound, and then the T sound. Being thrown in all together. These are oftentimes trouble areas for people, speakers of Indian languages, especially. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, anytime you have a B and then a P, Arabic speakers, this could be an area for you. So again, giving it a once over, soul grew stronger, making sure your R is clear, a nice English R, like a dog or a motorcycle, and then no longer. Speakers of Asian languages, the R and the L can be difficult, making sure that those are two separate and distinct sounds. Sir, said I, madam, truly ever again, I implore. If there's any vocabulary within these stanzas, you need to make sure you go and look something up. If you don't know how in the world should you even start pronouncing this, you need to go look it up. Stress needs to be marked. So if you do not know a particular word, you need to make sure that you understand where the stress is within the word, and then we'll find the stress in the sentence. Remember that the most important part of English pronunciation is the rhythm. If you don't have clear stressed and unstressed syllables, you will not have clear English pronunciation. All right, so let's get actually into here, and the only thing I'm going to mark, because everybody will have different markings of sounds depending on what language you are coming from. But as in the last video, I like to make marks of punctuation. We did red. We'll keep it consistent, where we're going to have a pause. So any of these commas we want to mark. We'll come back and mark the lines with those dashes. Let's see, and periods and semicolons with another color, with black. So we have some more. Let's go back here. Go to black. Okay. There we go. Boom. Now remember, a comma means it's a place to pause, not take a breath, although you can if you need to. But a comma means that this is a place where you are giving the listener a chance to think. It organizes your ideas. So a comma is a pause, and anywhere you have this hyphen or a period or a semicolon, or if you just need to, you need to take a breath. oftentimes. You don't always have to, but this is a pretty trusty rule to follow if you don't really know the rules of phrasing in English. Many times, students of mine have difficulty knowing when to pause, when to breathe, when do you continue. Look to the punctuation. It is there to help your performance of the language. All right, so let's do this first stanza here. Again, remember this poem is great because it has a lot of repetition. "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door." Here we did some emphasis on "'tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door." Remember, the words that you want to emphasize would be words like nouns and verbs. These are important, meaningful words within a sentence. So let's do that one more time to get a good sense of the rhythm. And then we're going to move to the next stanza. "And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, 'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. That it is, and nothing more." Um, this stanza is great for giving you some practice with your V's versus F's, your TH versus T. Wonderful. Let's keep going. Down here, we have presently, my soul grew stronger. Okay. Oops. Gotta go back to the cursor. Here we go. Let's actually just quickly though mark our punctuation. We have sir, I, napping, rapping, tapping, door. All right, and the rest can be, remember, semicolons, hyphens, periods. We'll make that be a true full stop. And before these quotations, I'll give a little bit of a stop because I want you to know that I'm speaking a person's words. Here we go. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more." If you don't understand what's happening, this person thinks that there's somebody knocking at the door. They go to open the door and no one is there. It's only darkness. I love this tapping, rapping, napping. All right, let's keep going. Again, we're pausing at the commas. We're stopping at full punctuation like periods, semicolons, question marks. And at that stop, we're going to breathe. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. So here, and where there's a question mark, we could even do more of, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore, like you're calling for a person. Lenore, is that you? That kind of a thing. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Oh no, it's a ghost. Merely this and nothing more. All right, and then another sound that is great to practice within this stanza would be the W sounds. The word, if you choose to go more old school English, whispered instead of whispered. But sometimes the w, making sure it comes, your lips are coming to like a oo sound, and you w, you make sound behind your lips and draw back the curtain, w, kind of like opening the door and there's darkness. Um, all right, let's keep going. And pardon the space here. This is belongs to the same stanza. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. And yeah, I'm acting it out because this is a really fun poem to think about, like at on a dark, scary night, like there's a storm maybe, and you're alone and you hear sounds, and you, at first you're like, it's just the wind, and then you hear it again, you're like, maybe it's an animal, and then you're a little bit afraid that, oh no, maybe somebody's there, and then you look and no one's there, and you're like, all of a sudden, it's a ghost. Perfect for Halloween. I wanted to show you, we talked about the flap, words that have the duh sound in the middle. It's actually not a duh, it's more of a very quick voiced T. Lattice becomes lattice. Um, there are other words, and I can go back and we can look. The beating of my heart, I stood repeating. I can say repeating or repeating, beating or beating, visitor or visitor, entreating instead of entreating, entreating. So you can go through and you'll find these intervocalic T's between vowels. If you want to learn more about the sounds in general and the patterns and when they're used, you can, of course, visit my pronunciation class at englishonfire.teachable.com. Thanks so much. I'll see you for part 3 very, very soon.